is keen to get amongst you, get those resets on your W, and just really sustain and endure all the pressure that the Udyr can pump out. Let's let ourselves then into game 3. It's all tied at 1-1 right now. It's a best of 5, and now we're already looking for those level 1 invades. benv throws the hook, instantly regrets it, spoon feeds Violet first blood, but they're not done just yet. Make it another, and Harry also gets a kill. So now you just granted Team Bliss the best possible start.
Oh, it's fantastic if you're a Team Bliss fan there. Not only do you pick up 2 kills, but look at who they went on. Violet and Harry, your 2 carries with those in hand. And it almost feels like those predictions came out after we just saw that first blood come into life. But now really a disaster start for Ground Zero. You could see that they had the initial hook. They have a Kai'Sa Taliyah level 1. Very potent duo, especially with the Nautilus CC. But Team Bliss, they read them like a book. And they will be all the wiser for it.
They certainly will be. Really good start for them, especially because we're saying, look for Violet. He looked a little bit out of place there on the center. Yes, we know he's capable of playing. He's done it countless times throughout his career here. But it just wasn't the way you'd want to try and reward what was a phenomenal Lucian performance. You've just been given a pentakill, now AFK, and play like a support. So let's see then what this means for the laning state, because they are going to return, and no summoners were burnt apart from the Ignite of Scott, and benv is still playing incredibly aggressive. Look at him just try and run it back again. Yeah,
he's going, but there's the item advantage for Violet here, so with that extra longsword in inventory, the trade, even though it should be going in Ground Zero's favor, is actually quite a neutral one. In fact, actually favoring Violet, but benv hook again.
Hook on cooldown, really making sure they can try and get a kill back in retaliation. Violet can't utilize this item advantage, and having popped the ghost and retained the flash, she's going to be burning through those potions and biscuits at a lightning rate, and really hoping it is not going to be forced back to base.
That's really big though. I mean, to be able to find that trade, especially when you're down a longsword, and given what happened level 1, that's absolutely huge, because now they don't have control over the wave. Team Bliss only have to receive that into their turret. And mid lane as well, Kisse doing a nice job of taking down Harry, securing pro in both mid and bot here. So, you know, despite the start that went against them in all the wrong ways, Ground Zero slowly clawing it back here.
And they certainly are. We've seen what Kisse's done time and time again on this champion as well. He's played it a fair bit this season for Ground Zero. He's done it in the past when he was on the roster for the Chiefs. Double AD carry certainly is a comp that he's going to be quite familiar with. We'll get to see just what he's able to accomplish with this one, because yes, whilst he'll have that innate push into that of the Syndra, not to stop Harry from answering back with some good scatter of the weeks.
This time Schönfire on his bot lane play will be spotted here on the ward. So Team Bliss have an idea. They also have flashes available, and the wave is nowhere near their turret. So feeling quite safe about that start. Someone who might not be feeling as safe though is TN. He does have a ward. With the wave positioning in a no-flash Volibear, he could be a little bit of a target. Bio so far been doing a really nice job here, still holding on to 2 pots in that matchup. So feeling quite good about his spot in the top lane, as one will take this Scuttle Crab, get himself a little bit of vision, and potentially look towards his top lane. Now he will be spotted, there's no ghost on Volibear available, but he'll just show his head for the time being. Possibly expecting a Schönfire roam, who now has based and come back with 2 amp zones.
He certainly has, and that ward will get replaced. The Schönfire will be popping to the top side. Kisse taking an opportunity then to rocket jump in, fully stack out that explosive shot, and make sure that Harry is not going to have control of this lane. As we say that, Schön does finally make his way up to top. Plants a control ward in this tri-bush, and really makes life easy for his laners to operate, as it will be that bear-on-bear action topside.
Yeah, this time TN gets a nice trade, so should be able to get the wave into Biopanther here and then get his reset off. Mid lane, Kisse you saw earlier, he's actually used the TP already, so both mid laners having used that. Actually misses the scout of the week, that's big, it's going to be a huge trade. As that should free up Kisse to move around the map however he pleases. Now bot lane, benv on this Nautilus, feels like there's so much aggression that is unlocked within him the second they pick this champion. Obviously favoring it first P in the draft, and really putting pressure on Violet and Scott here.
And I did think it was going to be a contested pick between the two of them, because I know that Scott is quite keen to utilize it as well, but it does feel like the difference maker so far in allowing him to be so aggressive. Sure, you've considered first blood to start off this game, but overall, it opens up so much here in Oath, where you're hunting for kills, and you just say, well, a random hook goes out, And let's see what we can fish as a result of that one. You're waiting for the cooldown, and you can see the angles, the lines are there to be drawn. He doesn't really need to force it because he knows that his jungler's top side. He should show a bit of respect. As we can see, Wino is pathing towards the bot, anticipating something to occur, and he might just find himself a Limes as the hook is there. The damage onto the Kaiser is enough to force out the flash, as the grand entrance guarantees it, and for all the good work you can provide him with, he does get taken down for the second time this game.
Yeah, benvi unfortunately just greeds the flash a little bit there, not wanting to use it to escape the grand entrance. And that means that there's all the CC to come through from a Xayah E and a Vi. Will provide that in spades. And the third kill will go over to Team Bliss. This time it's on Scott, so you're not feeling too bad about the Rakan getting gold there if you're a Ground Zero fan. But definitely looking to have a better early game than last time. Just in this top lane you can see trading back and forth, but with so much sustain present on either side, really not much potential for a solo kill unless a jungler comes up, and then I guess by definition it's not a solo kill.
Yeah.
Here goes the hook onto Why Not here. We'll be able to hopefully get out, but actually gets cancelled.
Yeah, fantastic Nautilus passive there, buffering it, forcing out the flash 2 thereafter, because that was going to be a Talia hunting for the kill. Pressure once again. This link up between Sherd and benvi has been hard to lock down, and it is always responded with them losing pressure as a result of that one. Now the bot lane, the Bliss has returned themselves, and even they don't feel safe in their own side of the jungle.
Yeah, because Ground Zero have the first move mid, which is really the important part. You can see Kisei does have the push in most circumstances, and that means that also with having burnt the flashes, hold on, TN's down here. Why not just use his Q and he has no flash?
He doesn't have any flash. He can get punished for this one as a result. If he runs into the mid lane, he's going to realize that everybody else is dead too. benvi with the hook, easy peasy. They found their kill. And for GZ, that is really the answer they're hoping for.
Absolutely fantastic roam there from TN, getting towards the mid lane. That time, perhaps looking to dive Harry on that stacked wave with his bot and jungle, but actually just finds Why Not caught on the Raptor camp, takes him down, and picks up his first kill of the game. Now, yes, he will lose a bit topside, but the kill gold more than enough to equalize that. And now Ground Zero slowly working their way back from a deficit. You can see the bot lane all this time has allowed Limes to catch up a little bit in CS. He's still 10 down. But on this Kaiser, especially against the Xayah, who had such a good start, will take any CS you can get.
Absolutely. Absolutely the perfect way to get themselves back into this one, and to make sure that first blood doesn't really amount for much. But it is still a 1k lead in favour of Bliss. Bit of an all-in here from Hayri, as it's not enough with the unleashing of that power. Down to 130 becomes Kisei, who responds back with an explosive shot of his own. So both will just look to walk away and fight another day. But TN is going to really showcase that, well, if I've got the ability to roam, despite being down 15 CS, I'm going to make it count.
It's like the revamped Udyr, isn't it? The sense that he always just shoves the wave, always walks into the enemy jungle and places a ward, and really is a nuisance for Why Not to have to deal with. One of the worst things you can have as a Vi is the enemy knowing where you are, because so much of your value is in being able to find those early ganks. Just hold on, what might be taking place here?
They're trying to hunt for the all-in right now. There is no quick available for Scott, but he started off with the Ignite, tanks at the tower, passes it across the Why Not, and makes it look very, very easy. As a result, Schönfire here just lagging behind his attempt to try and shut things down. Does catch up Scott, under no real threat to force out the need of a flash of his own. And he simply just pokes his head into lane and just dives onto tower.
It was a perfect gank there, and the execution from all of Bliss really is. Seismic Shot will land. Scott going back in here, but no kills really to be found so far. They just wait. They simply walk up, they wait, they wait for their cooldowns until that killer instinct comes out. And then that Xayah Blade Call, able to find so much value, just ripping back through Limes and really shutting this Kaiser down early. 30 CS now the gap. And Ground Zero will actually be able to find this dragon as a result of their mid priority, but at least this time Violet, he's ahead, which is absolutely what you want to see as a Team Bliss fan.
You certainly do. Back on a hyper carry, a champion that can really come online once that 2-item spike is achieved. Going to be sitting very pretty in this one, but as you mentioned, unable to go for those dragons. And oh, what a scatter of the week! What a perfect orb! And Harry showcases why you should keep him online.
Yeah, this is why you don't give the man 5p. Even against the Tristana, he'll be able to find the solo kill. Fantastic use of the E to take him out of the rocket jumpers. He will look at the dive again. You can see they hold the Vi out really late to be able to follow him through that Kaiser ultimate. and then it's all the feathers in the ground just being ripped back through to find the kill. And that kill mid lane is really big. We talked about it in the draft, but Syndra loves playing against all these squishy champions. So now with that solo kill, we'll certainly be feeling nice about the way this game is panning out. The grubs will be turned to by Schönfire here, as he has Kisei and he has Benvi in the area. This time though, Team Bliss, they've brought up Scott as well.
They're looking to try and put up a bit of a contest for this one. Forg on their way so far as the hook goes out. The shove is there. And Scott dashing across that minefield, cops a fair bit of damage, but the TP from Harry, having now picked up the Ludens, is incredibly strong. The only person in this game so far with a fully completed item. Doesn't have the ultimate though, having burnt it prior for the kill onto Kisei. But it's not going to stop Ground Zero committing members in the area to go for all 6 grubs.
Yeah, they should just be able to get this now. That chunk onto Scott forces him back to base, which means he won't have that level 6 Rakan there. And a really nice bit of play here. Once again, Benvi, it feels like the exact same play he made last game, hooking out of the bush, chaining that with the Talia CC, and that being enough to secure themselves an objective. So much like last game, all 6 Void Grubs going over to the side of Ground Zero. And for a team with a Tristana and a Volibear who really do value getting this alone time in side lanes to hit turrets, will certainly be a welcome objective. Why not there? Just, I thought he was going to go for a dive for a second there, but he's not that gung-ho. We'll just settle for the Raptor camp as now this whole bot side firmly in control of Team Blizz.
What it really is a disaster now for the spot lane, right? And it's kind of comical how the AD carries can go from being the absolute star hero of a game to them being completely shut out. Violet now the one to really profit as a result of this one, saying to his team, we don't need to really care about them getting all 6 Void Grubs because I can get so many plates here in the bot lane. But meanwhile, topside Bio gets a little bit aggressive and applies the pressure into Tien, who is going for, you can only imagine, a bit of a hybrid build. He's already got the tier. And with a little bit of AP to boot too. Certainly not shy of trading with this Udyr, but is still down a fair amount of CS.
Yeah, partly due to his roams, partly due to the fact that Udyr, you know, you can pick what you want into it, but really it is the S tier laning top laner. So much sustain, so much poke, so much wave clear. Everything you really need. Oh, as you can see, this mid lane is such a problem. Harry!
He's just dead. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, Harry's taking a little bit of time to grow into this series. Yes, from an individual performance, he's not had the strongest KDA, but now he said, really, enough is enough. I'll show you why I'm the GOAT.
And when better to come online than in this game 3 here, when so much is riding on it, he plain and simple is just handling Kisei in that mid lane matchup now. Why not ease towards his bot lane? We saw what happened when he walked in like this last time. But with 3 members of Ground Zero in the area, they do have the response though. Look at the turrets, mid lane and bot, both just getting absolutely crushed here. The gold lead 3,000 and Team Bliss, for a team that had kind of been getting shown up in the early game, they're really turning it around here.
They certainly are, and I can imagine the Ground Zero really are thinking to themselves, thank God they don't have 6 grubs, because that amount of a load time, those 2 towers would have just simply fallen on down. But the damage has already been done, Max. They've managed to get so many of that plate gold achieved before the 14-minute mark that they find themselves close to a 3k lead already.
It's monstrous, and the lead is exactly where you want it as well, on this Harry, on this Syndra, who now will actually pick up a Seeker's Arm Guard. A nice adaptation here to guarantee a little bit more survivability. You can guarantee that everyone on Ground Zero here is going to be looking at you to pick up that bounty. And now with that online, you can negate a depth charge, you can negate a Talia combo, and really you are feeling so much safer about your position, as the first turret will break in the bot lane. Why not? We'll see Limus here, but won't be detected as of yet. And really, it's not just the turrets, it's the camps off the back end as well. 20 seconds on the Dragon. And with all the control that Team Bliss have, you do imagine this will just be falling into their pockets.
Well, you certainly would, but there's a part of me that thinks that Ground Zero have had a bit of an interesting breakpoint where, despite being down this amount of gold, are actually even in all the right places to try and contest before Blizz do hit that second item spike and then really start to run away with it. So how much attention would they put towards this one? Yes, it's only the second of the game, but Tien is left on an island in the top side untouched. He may just be quite happy to answer back.
Well, I think that's kind of what you're happy with here, is you're content with Tien, who has all those 6 Void Grubs, being able to get some alone time with the turret. Hold on here. Team Bliss, they might be fishing for something. Seismic shove lands. We're not going to find too much. Scatter the weak.
Well, that's a fight you want now. All the damage going on towards Schoenfire. Shut him down, and the fight looks effortless as a result. The depth charge of all things. The thing to take out Scott. Both supports falling in the end. Flash to guarantee the shutdown there. There's Violet is the one getting preyed upon by this rocket jumping Kisei monster. He said enough. Said Harry, I do not want to fall victim to your lighting pressure. And he picks up a wealth of gold.
There goes Kisei. He's back in the game now off a really nice TP play. Team Bliss, they overcommit a little bit on the initial play, trying to take down Schoenfire, which they will eventually, but not in time for all the DPS to come online. TNB tanking turret for a while. You can see Biopanther still remaining a thorn in the side of Ground Zero, but nonetheless, a very important fight there. You can see Lemus was able to DPS for so much of the fight as we run it back here. The Talia W lands, and it's a nice combo, but the Scatter the Weak is even better. Schoenfire flashing out of the initial engage, but still gets taken down. Look at Lemus here, though. All the attention's directed towards Benvi. Lemus is really able to put the DPS onto Violet. So by the time Kisei rocks up, all he has to do is land one auto attack. He gets the reset, gets the knockback. He knows that Hayri has Zhonya's here, so if he was able to escape towards his turret, could potentially buy a little bit more time, but will not be able to find that. And now, really big kills coming through. 2000 is the gold lead, and we're right into another fight.
And we certainly are, and looking for another chance for Bliss to balloon that gold lead back in their favor. Harry the one to receive it, 6 kills to his name, only 16 minutes in, but so strong. And despite conceding double bounties on their 2 fair carries, they do not look weak whatsoever as they look to try and pick up this Herald. Lesson checking with an overall gold, and whilst it's definitely slimmed up a fair bit, it is still Harry and Violet at the top of the tables. Kisei not too far behind, but still a pretty big divide.
And the really important divide is the one between Lemus, Schoenfire, and Violet and Hayri. That's 2,000 as, hold on, Kisei.
Kisei in trouble as he goes aggressive on towards Hayri, who turns gold and actually baits out all that aggression. He's waiting for the cavalry to arrive, the shield, the support, it's there. They are ready to protect their mid laner and say, you will not fall for this one. He has to stand at such a big distance now as Bio, as a tanky Udyr, looks to take up the world and more, but even he, at this early portion of the game, only a nice ball gauntlet, can't do much more than that.
Seeker's arm guard value absolutely huge for Hayri there, able to make sure he doesn't go down at the initial stage of that play. But Ground Zero, they're the first ones to collapse. They're able to converge on the teleporting Biopanther. And like you said, he's so tanky, but still does fall down amidst 4 members. Now, if turret trade coming through, the mid lane will fall down. As here we go, once again, you can see Kisei just getting aggressive on this wave here. He has shown fire to back him up, but one is there so quickly, and the Zhonya's is fantastic, buying all this time for the flash to come through for him to be able to create the distance. And then look at the TP here. Unfortunately, Biopanther will be the sacrificial lamb to allow the rest of his team to get out. But Hayri making it out really is the important thing here.
It certainly is. You saw on the back end of that play before we went into the replay was that Violet pushing yet another tower. Almost feels a little bit like we're watching Raze, where he was always quite keen to say, you go for the Herald, I'll just individually get stronger and stronger, become that team fight monster that you can certainly rely upon later into this match. As both now will lose their mid-tier ones and really open the floor for them to conduct some flanking angles. But we're still noting that Bliss do have that Herald, which they're going to be quite grateful of, because we've seen what happens when 6 grubs and a Herald come into effect. What, a million different Void might spawn, the entire lane then disappears, and then you're really scratching your head as to, well, how do we get ourselves back in?
And the question is now, where do Bliss actually want to use this? Because the only remaining tier 1 that they have is the top lane turret. You obviously do like having the Herald around the mid lane. That's kind of the area you want to open up the most. But at this stage, really, it's every turret is remaining pretty healthy for this side of Ground Zero, and you imagine they would be wanting to save it for perhaps the back end of a pick. 40 seconds on Dragon, 40 seconds on Baron as well. Now, whilst the 20-minute Baron isn't, you know, out of the realm of possibility, you would imagine that the Dragon would take more of a forefront here. Neither team working towards their soul point as of yet, but definitely any Hextech Dragon you can get is certainly very welcome.
Certainly has been. It will offer a fair bit of damage and control that they will certainly rely upon once these fights break out, but the hesitancy to start up an objective certainly could bite to back Bliss if they take too long to commit to something. First mid lane, the 2 AD carries look to try and force a fight out here, and Benvi just shows his face for a second, threatening what could be. It would be Ground Zero that had the inline track for the Baron for the meantime. As Harry's going to have to take the long way back to mid.
And there is a ward on this Baron from Team Bliss, so they're not really too worried about a steal coming through, and that's going to mean they have a lot of safety here in being able to play on mid lane. Now, keep in mind, Ground Zero, they have a Talia plus a double AD carry, so they burn through this Baron. But for the time being, all that vision is going to give Team Bliss the confidence to continue pushing here. Really feels reminiscent of Game 1, where side lanes are the priority for Ground Zero, whereas Team Bliss are all about that death ball. They're all about coming together and really shutting you down in those team fights. And for the time being, Dragon looks to be the point of focus, but why not?
He does become the point of focus, and I think it's an interesting point you raised, right? Well, you know, like Savantic and Bliss be really keen on those 5-man death balls. Ground Zero sort of shown a more prevailing tendency to say, well, if we just attend to these side lanes, how can they look to try and always win these team fights? Because they're getting pressured elsewhere, and that could certainly look to hurt them. The Baron, yes, whilst you got a double AD carry set up and a very strong Schönfire Talia, we're going to look to try and rush it down anytime soon. Waiting for those second items, make it 2.5 for some of these carries. But the Navori quick plays the line, and especially that Leandri's, I mean, it's a terrifying prospect if Ground Zero given a chance.
Absolutely, it just melts at this stage, and they have the Volibear to be able to tank it up. The question is, though, do you actually want that? Do you want to be inviting Team Bliss to engage on you in a confined area? And right now the answer is absolutely no. I think they want to keep playing through Kisei in particular, hovering Schönfire around his side of the map to enable him to push with that extra bit of safety. For the time being, you can see Benvi as well hovering up towards his top side. In fact, almost every member besides the top laners are looking at this top lane turret. And we asked where this Herald would be summoned. It is in the top lane so far. No one looks like they're about to drive it. As the hook.
Oh! It's a beautiful flash hook there, instantly summoning the Zonias of Hayri as he comes out of the one. He gets flipped into the waiting arms of Tien, who chomps him down with that frenzied move. Schönfire then picking up a second kill, so they remove the support of Scott. No quickness, no chance to survive, and why not? Really stuck between a rock and a hard place. That is the perfect TP play right towards Baron.
Support gap. Benvi finds the hook, even with the flash coming out from Hayri. And yes, you have the Zonias, but there's a Talia waiting with the seismic shove the second you come out of it. And after what was a game, an early game that really was going in the favor of Team Bliss, that Baron will blow this game wide open. Let's take a look again here, because Benvi just so aggressive flashes, and Hayri, you know, perhaps struggling to match the reaction speed, flashing in the straight line, still gets hit by it. And then even with the TP coming through, they're not able to turn this play around. Kisei, amidst all these tanky members, is able to DPS freely. And that's huge for a comp that wants to play side lanes, for a comp that has 6 Void Grubs. This Baron turns bad to worse.
It certainly does, Max. I mean, for a team like Bliss to be up by 5,000 gold, they're now trailing by a fair bit instead. Ground Zero managed to close that distance and actually acquire 7,000. As they will look to showcase that, hey, we're not going to be done just yet. Kisei jumping across the wall. Maybe she get a little bit of disrespect here, quite honestly. Forced to get the flash, but it wasn't really required. Maybe trying to become the mid lane insect without even playing Lee Sin.
Yeah, Ronald got a little bit confident there. I think he saw the Syndra Q come out, the second charge, and thought, okay, I can go, and there won't be a Scout of the Week to come. But Hayri really quick in using that unleashed power to drop some orbs on the ground and allow the stun to come through. They'll force the flash out of Kisei and will, at least for the moment, slow down the push here. You can see that Ground Zero are really wanting to move Volibear and Lawless around. These are the 2 CC makers that can really catch out someone if they are unaware. And as for the moment, it'll be the mid lane push, this tier 2. Not long for this world.
Look at that shot, and look at that pick. Yeah, look at Lemus, though he's under so much threat right now as the Chung Grand Entrance is there, but who's there to back up Scott? What a clutch, Locket! But into the backline with the Killer Instinct says, how dare you touch me! I am royalty. Have you seen my Kaiser in game number 2? We'll see it again from the grey screen. A Void Seeker to take down Violet, to snipe him away, and the Baron Inspired team win the fight.
Lemus is toying with them there. A fantastic fight using everything he has, but ultimately it coming out for the better. And now, Skimmy, there's 20 seconds left on the respawn timers. Ground Zero, they're posturing like they want to just take the inhib and get out here. But you could see, I'm sure we'll see a replay of it. Lemus actually baiting in the members of Team Bliss and has a fantastic killer instinct to get out. But now 5,000 will be the gold lead. The team fighting simply has been better from Ground Zero. As here we look again, you can see Lim is hitting this turret, gets rooted up by Violet, using the cleanse, and look at how he plays this last little bit here. You can see he's getting taken dangerously low, uses the killer instinct on the back end to pick up Scott, and then flashes out. Violet so far out of position now, and having used all of his summoners, is just in the middle, and he is left to die.
Yeah, all baited by the allure of a low HP Lemus. And if he's not falling on down, if he's distracting you, then simply where is your damage to take down the other members wailing away on the roster of Team Bliss? Very difficult situation to find themselves in now. They're up by 5,000 gold. Now they trail by that same amount. And the game really has flipped in its head for what was the perfect early game for Bliss here.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And 2 seconds on this Dragon Spawn ground zero. They've got firm control of the river. They don't want to cede the mid lane priority, however, and they will walk up.
And they certainly will. Depth charge knocking out multiple members. TN's invitation to disrupt the backline. The lockdown Harry, who goes gold for the meantime, buying crucial time. And that's an invitation for Scott to use him as a passenger to look to charm as many members as possible. But this bear is angry, and Harry is dead. 2 kills found. Make it 3. It's going to be clean and perfect at that too, because nobody's going to fall on down. In the end, it will be Surefired. It's thankfully Violet that picks it up, but doesn't really matter, Max, because Ground Zero are pushing for the end.
They're unrelenting. TN jumping into the backline starts it all off, and Team Bliss can do nothing but watch as they're ran over for another team fight in this game, and just with one super minion, they're looking to put themselves on match point.
That they most certainly are. Predictions in shambles, but Ground Zero lead this one 2-1. What a phenomenal series we have in our hands here.
Draft is unpredictable.